Thank you very much for joining us, Mpume. I understand that you are a retired nurse, but still, as the Minister did say there, once a nurse, always a nurse. So happy International Nurses Day today.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. We know that, nursing has been a thankless profession for some time now, but it seems that COVID-19 is bringing the work done by nurses into the spotlight. What are some of the day-to-day challenges that, nurses are faced with, not just as we're faced with the COVID-19 pandemic, but just in general?
I'll say shortage of staff, especially here in South Africa, a lot of shortage of staff, long working hours, shortage of equipment, especially in rural areas. You, as we all know, there isn't enough equipment, there isn't enough medication, and those are the areas that need all the help the most. And those people are mostly stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home families with older people, older generations who are dependent on government grant.
Yeah, we know that nursing isn't necessarily a job that has, office hours necessarily. I mean, often, and I've watched this with my own grandmother, who's a nurse, where you're taking work home with you. You're very concerned about the well-being of some of the patients that you see, even after, you've left the clinic or you've left the hospital. Take us through some of your experiences, and your journey as a nurse, where you've had to not just worry about, patients in the hospital or in clinics, but away and, in your own spare time at home.
If you are a nurse, your community, your neighbors, they know you are a nurse. So if somebody has a problem, somebody suddenly decide to, let's say a pregnant woman suddenly goes into labor, they'll run to you because they know you are a nurse. A neighbor, somebody is sick there, they'll call for you, they'll ask for you for advice, what to do or what can you do at that moment. So you are a nurse at the hospital, you are a nurse also at home. If you, I remember a colleague, a young nurse, somebody delivered at the taxi rank in Johannesburg, and this nurse had to come and deliver the baby. And she had nothing with her. She had no gloves, she had nothing. She helped deliver that person because it's in you. It's an instinct that's in you. Yeah. I know people, generally, there's been a lot about nurses, things that are bad, that are happening, but they don't. Nurses, when I believe a nurse is not just a nurse because she chose to do a profession. It is a profession, but it's something inside that person. There's something inside that made her choose nursing, caring, some caring that's inborn in her. So as nurses, we have that heart. We have that inside our heart to care, no matter heart, no matter where you are. You suddenly feel the need. You will feel the need to help. Should you encounter a situation where you can help.
Yeah. Sister Mpume, I mean, what does a day like today mean to you? International Nursing Day, the birth date of Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nursing. Are the principles that she stood for still being widely applied by nurses today? Or would you say sometimes you do pick up that the standards are sort of dropping? Or do you feel in general nurses do try to uphold the standards of Florence Nightingale?
I think the nurses are doing the best they can. They do try very hard to uphold under difficult circumstances. They will try to do their best.
All right.
To uphold that standard.
Yeah. Thank you so very much.
There are situations, not because there are situations we all hear on the news, this and that has happened, but genuinely, I've seen all these young nurses. I still go and help, by the way, now and then where I'm needed, considering there's so much shortage of nurses. And I've looked at these young nurses these growing young nurses who still need our expertise and our experience for guidance. And they're doing the best they can. They are doing a very good job with so little that they have on their hands. They are doing the best job ever. All we need is the support from the Department of Health, from the government, from the community, for them to do their job at the best they can.
All right, Ms Mpume, thank you so very much for chatting to us here on SABC News. And of course, we applaud you and other nurses on the front lines, and whether they're still nurses or retired nurses, I know that you're still working behind the scenes either way. Thank you so very much for that, and happy International Nurses Day to you once again. Thank you for joining us.